when a collection is sold out, it's entirely secondary market on OpenSea.
Yep.
And so say the cheapest one is 0.3, and then if somebody lists at 0.25, that's the new floor.
Yep,
and
gotcha.
then if somebody sweeps the floor and buys the bottom 10, the new floor is 0.5.
All right, here we are. So this is it. This is the first time we've done like a proper interview, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, we interviewed Luke a couple of times, but he didn't have much to say.
Emphasis on the proper.
Yeah, yeah. He didn't have a lot to say, so apologies, Luke.
No, he said stuff. It was good.
Yeah, no.
He's one of our most loyal subscribers, so we probably shouldn't berate him too much.
Yeah. But what an idiot! Oh my gosh.
No, we love Luke.
Nah, what a guy.
He's great.
If you're listening to this, Luke,
which you will be.
I didn't say that. That was someone else.
It wasn't. It was Jory.
Yeah,
Jory's on here already.
That was our other guest. Yeah. Yeah, so actually I have a bit of a story. Someone I'll launch right into it.
Okay.
Someone at work was talking about Oculus.
Oculus,
right?
Okay, yes.
So Oculus is a
VR
kind of company.
Yeah.
And I didn't actually. So they were like, oh, I've been trying to. So with work, we have to put in trade requests basically, so that we can get approval from different people that are working on deals and then our like executive manager as well, just to make sure there's no conflict of interest, right?
Yep.
Now, Oculus is a US company.
Yep.
And so it's definitely not as relevant, but still have to make sure that it's like legit.
Yep.
And so one thing that was really funny was they go, oh yeah, like I've put in 3 different requests and I keep trying to like buy the wrong one. I don't know what I'm doing. I need some help. And I said, oh, Oculus, wasn't that the one that was bought by Facebook a couple of years ago?
Yeah.
And then I like looked it up and I was like, oh yeah, it was bought by Facebook a couple of years ago.
Oh, he would have been so confused.
And
then.
so then I was like, oh yeah, it's so you can buy it under FB, but next week you can buy it under MVRS.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they've changed yet. I think they definitely would have changed by the time we release this one.
Yes.
But yeah, so you can buy it under MVRS, and they were like, oh, that's interesting. Like, what? Like, do you think I should buy it? And then I remembered Chamath talking about, Chamath Palihapitiya.
Yes.
Talking about Oculus and talking about how when Facebook onboards a company like that, because they went and acquired them, when they do that, often what will happen is the founders will kind of find the place kind of toxic, so they'll often lose a lot of control, lose a lot of autonomy, and they often decide to leave. So with Instagram, apparently all the original 13 members that got acquired left.
Really?
And with Oculus, the original founder has left as well. So so it's like a
Facebook is the company killer.
Yeah, but I think what's interesting about them is that they're trying to buy other companies so that they can acquire the control rather than
not just the talent.
Yeah, rather than the talent and the idea. They just want to make sure no one's competing with them.
Yeah.
So I think that by buying
Which
that...
is like kind of not what you're supposed to do, right?
Yeah. And so by buying that, they were able to launch the whole Metaverse thing because that's a major piece of their Metaverse strategy.
Correct.
Like being a part of the new age of crypto gaming and stuff.
Which we'll talk about a little more as to whether or not just simply having VR capabilities is really the Metaverse.
But it was a little relevant. Second relevant piece is Twitter's CEO Jack Dorsey stepped down.
Yes, he did.
And he's turning Square into Block, which is going to have a focus on Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. So,
yes, it will.
So that's kind of cool.
That's right.
And he's appointed whoever has appointed a new CEO.
Do you know who it is for Twitter?
Yeah, so his name...
Okay.
No, I'm going to say it wrong. It's Parag Aragwal.
Parag, that's such a good name.
Or Parag, I'm not 100% sure how to pronounce it. He is an Indian American, and he's joining the ranks of Indian American CEOs, which is quite cool.
True.
So yeah, because we've got
Google man, right?
Immigrants. Google and Microsoft were both run by.
Is it too?
Yeah.
Mr. Google gets paid so much money.
Yeah, I think he's often considered the highest paid employee.
Yeah.
So yeah, which is a really funny thing to think about. You know, it's like a non-founder, anything, but he gets paid $500 million.
Yeah. So, just so much money.
Yeah.
So much money.
Just for an appointed CEO, which is kind of cool.
It is great. He must be good. Okay, so social media, right?
Social media, it's a thing.
I'd say you're our social media director, as you were trying to teach me how to use TikTok yesterday.
Well, I actually like to think that our social media is run by our great social media team here at HQLA.
True. Andrew and Jess.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Nice work. That was a good one. I got to make that look natural. Yeah, TikTok. So
Yes. What's been happening on the TikTok?
well, one thing that's been happening is we've definitely just hit 100 subscribers. Oh no! Mine ripped.
I'll get you another one. Hang on.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so some things have been happening on social media.
We hit 100 subscribers on 100 followers on TikTok. That was perfectly
Quite
in
well
time.
synchronized that
was
time.
good.
Yeah.
We're getting better.
Yes, we are. That's the goal. Better every day, Isaac.
Better every day. Indeed.
What do you got there? Bit of a mess.
Don't worry about that. All right.
Thank you. Okay, so we have a special guest on the podcast today,
A very special guest.
don't we? So, okay, so how did this originate? So, basically, we've been in contact with a friend of ours who we haven't seen for a while. He is, we'll talk more about him when he's on here, but basically he started a project that we're really interested in, and he was keen to chat about it. So, Isaac's just really caught up in the confetti here, so that's
You
okay.
should introduce him as a musical artist and a
Yeah, well, I've got that here.
Digital creator. Oh, sorry, yeah. I'll hold off. Okay. All right. Let's make databases great again. Why would you store your art on an Excel spreadsheet when you could store it on the blockchain?
Good call. And so today we've got
All
a
right.
very, very special guest. He's a good friend of mine, and he's an NFT genius, as we're about to find out. And so, Jory, he's married to Jordan, and she lived most of her life in
Yes.
Australia, actually, which is where I met her, and subsequently him.
Yeah.
And so, is it true that you flew across the world basically to marry her? And you came to Australia, met the girl of your dreams, met me, the man of your dreams. And after spending a bunch of your time, I think, did you originally grow up in LA? Or for a while,
I
you
moved down
spent
there
some
when
time
I was,
in LA?
Yeah, I moved down there when I was 4. I lived there for 7 years.
Great, there you go. And so now you both live in Vancouver, and so naturally you're an ice hockey player and Tim Hortons drinker, and right?
Tim Hortons.
And so you've released a bunch of hip hop stuff too, right? And so under the artist name Jory, and you've got more than 500,000 listens on Spotify, which is super awesome. 2 of my personal favorite tracks is Fake and Bounce. Great tracks. Well done.
Thank you.
And what we're going to talk about today is your latest project, which is an NFT-based game called BasicBats, which we'll discuss. Is that about right?
Yeah,
Is that you?
that's about right. Wow, that's a big intro. Like a lot of people in this space are pretty like
Right.
new friends. I think
Yeah.
because I've only been into NFTs for like less than a year.
Crazy.
So a lot of the friends I've made so far, even like close friends, people I know
Yeah.
IRL or anonymous
Yeah.
friends that I've made on Twitter and Discord and stuff.
Yeah, wow.
None of them know anything
Know
about
any of
music
that?
or Australia or my wife, so
Sorry.
this is dope. People will learn a bit about me.
You could say he's doxed.
Yes, you just got doxed.
But you know what? I think that's an important thing, especially as like a business owner in the space launching a project, because
Yeah.
something that we'll get into a bit more later on that happens a lot is with all the anonymity. People will launch projects, promise the world, and then
100%.
disappear, and people
Totally.
lose money and stuff. So being doxxed
Totally.
actually isn't a bad thing.
There you go. I like it.
Very good.
All right, so we were thinking, okay, so on HQLA, we've never talked about NFTs before, or certainly not much.
Sick.
We have.
And so we thought it might be cool. We have.
Yeah, I did a segment on it.
Oh, did you? Okay. I wasn't listening. There you go. Super professional, Jory. And so we were thinking it would be cool just for our listeners to chat about, very simply, how would someone purchase an NFT? So say they've got either USD or Australian dollars. What's the process to do that in as simple as possible? What do you reckon?
Yeah, so there's a couple different blockchains that you can purchase NFTs on, and ERC20 tokens or whatever that you can purchase it with. The number one would be Ethereum.
Okay.
And so ERC NFTs on the Ethereum network, you buy and sell with ETH. Have you covered on your show how to buy crypto?
Yeah, totally. So you'd need some sort of crypto on-ramp, right? So something like a Binance, or what's some stuff that you guys use over
Like
in
Coinbase,
America?
so- Right. So in the States, Coinbase definitely has
Yep.
the most users.
Yep.
In Canada, we kind of have to use either an international one like Binance, or we
Yep.
have to use some like smaller Canadian ones.
Yep.
The biggest one among my friends is called ShakePay. It's a
ShakePay?
company based out of it's a company
So
based out of
cool.
Quebec,
True.
and the reason it's called ShakePay is because they created basically like a snap streak.
No.
Every
Yeah,
day
right.
that you log in, you can shake your phone and you earn some Bitcoin.
Yeah, that's great.
And
yeah.
So cool.
the longer your streak, the more you earn.
Yeah, right.
And it's a Canadian-based company, so here
Yeah, that's cool.
e-transfer is really easy, like to send money around. And they've integrated like Canadian e-transfers right into their app, so you can just send money from your bank. It takes 5 minutes, and then you can buy Ethereum right there.
Sick. Okay, so you've got Ethereum. Then what's the next step?
So you need a wallet that
Okay.
is connectable to websites.
Gotcha.
There's a handful of them, but by far the number one would be MetaMask.
MetaMask,
Yes.
yeah.
There you go. Yep.
So all you need is an on-ramp to buy ETH, and then
Yep.
you need to make a MetaMask account, send the ETH over, and then you can connect that to any NFT purchasable website.
Like an
and-
NFT exchange sort of thing, or something like that.
Yeah, so
any
there's
ideas? Like,
two-
what are some options for that?
Yeah, so OpenSea.io is
OpenSea,
the number one.
Yep.
Binance kind of has like a beta
Oh, really?
marketplace coming out.
did not know
and
that.
Same with Coinbase
Yeah, it's pretty
next
recent,
year.
hey. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Super recent. There's a couple other ones like Rarible and Foundation. Those can tend to be more like one-of-one art pieces. I think
Yes.
OpenSea is definitely the number one platform for like collectibles.
Yes. And so on
And,
OpenSea, they've got the initial drops, but then they also have like peer-to-peer secondary markets too, right? So I can buy and sell with you, me, Isaac, and stuff like that. It's kind of like eBay
Yeah,
almost,
exactly.
right?
So that's the primary function of OpenSea.
Oh, it's the
I
primary
think.
function. There you go.
Yeah, would be the secondary market. So you
Okay,
can they have their own smart contracts that you can piggyback off and have a lower upfront cost to put out your own NFTs for purchase, but they take a huge cut.
Yep.
And so if you're doing a big project with lots of NFTs, it definitely makes more sense to hire a smart contract coder and get a customized smart contract created so that you can launch it straight from your website.
True.
And then once your NFTs sell, they show up on OpenSea, and then you can either sell them or trade them or whatever. When you start a MetaMask wallet and you like buy an NFT or whatever, OpenSea like already makes an account for you because it's just everything's public ledger. It's on the blockchain, and so OpenSea just like you can look up your wallet address and you like have an account, and then
Crazy.
your NFT that you bought is just like in there in that OpenSea account,
Wow.
and then you can just like sell it. It's so user friendly.
It's just all connected. Interoperability,
Yeah.
Isaac.
Interoperability, indeed. So I found one of the problems with with all of that and with using Ethereum, it's a really good starting place. It's almost like Bitcoin was a great starting place into crypto,
Okay.
but has all the original, obviously all the mining problems and everything.
Yes.
So with Ethereum and using that for NFTs, there's so many issues that people have with gas fees,
Yes.
especially
Oh, yeah.
when the network's busy and they're paying 200 USD just to, on top of every other fee for minting and everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, what kind of is your project on Ethereum, and does it experience those problems with gas fees?
Yeah, so our project is based on Ethereum. Ethereum's kind of like the gold standard for NFTs. The most valuable and like S-tier NFTs, in my opinion, will always be on Ethereum.
Yeah. And I guess it doesn't matter so much the gas fees because the percentage of the gas fee to the actual value of the NFT is not so much, right? I guess the problem is if you're selling...
Depends.
Oh, really? Okay.
If you're selling a $10,000 NFT,
Yeah.
a $2,000 gas fee is chips, it's nothing. But if you're selling a $50 NFT, a $200 gas fee is a lot.
100%.
So that's the only place that you kind of see people really struggling is the gas fee.
Yeah.
Is
Are there
when
other
they're
chains?
buying lower. Yes. So there are other Ethereum like layer 2 solutions like Polygon. Matic is the ticker.
Yeah.
And they have super low fees.
Okay.
and they actually have a lot of really nice like features that you can really easily like airdrop NFTs to
Oh wow.
to wallet addresses. And,
That's great.
Yeah, it's super affordable, but
Okay.
the problem is that, say Isaac is starting this new social networking platform called Isaac Book, and wants to. It's better than Facebook.
Yep.
It's super cool. It's easier to use. It's
Great,
more
love it.
forward thinking. The only problem is you got to get everyone to leave Facebook and go to Isaac Book.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
who's gonna want to leave but everyone's on Facebook? So
Yeah.
what if my friends don't go to Isaac Book? What about my grandma? You know, it's like everything's not
100%.
gonna just move over. So it's kind of a similar thing that I see with Ethereum, and I think that's part of the reason it's going to be king forever.
Gotcha.
Or for a long
because,
time.
So the creators want to be where the buyers are, right? And the buyers want to be where the good creations are.
Yes.
And so neither of them want to change to Solana or anything else because they want to be where the money's at and where the value's at. So I get it. That's a great example.
Yeah.
100%.
So
Definitely.
we've all been hurting with the gas fees, especially as Ethereum climbs and as volume climbs.
True.
And especially now that Ethereum is burning and has become a deflationary token.
Yeah.
It just keeps going up. I was
Yeah, right.
talking to somebody the other day about the good old days 6 months ago when buying NFTs on the ETH network, gas fees were like $19 or like $12. And now, like just yesterday, I bought an NFT from a collection called Ape Gang.
Yeah.
Sick project.
Yeah.
I've got 5 of them. They're really dope. They're building some really cool stuff. Big inspiration for me, actually.
Sick.
And I bought one for, I guess, US. It was, I don't know, maybe like $2,000. But the gas fee was like $500.
Yeah.
But because the volume was insane, and the floor was moving like crazy.
Yeah. So the floor is at the minimum price.
So
at
that's
that
just
time?
the lowest priced NFT of the collection.
Yep, understood.
And when a collection is sold out, it's entirely secondary market on OpenSea.
Yep.
And so whoever, say the cheapest one is 0.3, and then if somebody lists at 0.25, that's the new floor.
Yep,
And
gotcha.
then if somebody sweeps the floor and buys the bottom 10, the new floor is 0.5.
Gotcha.
So floor price is something that people talk a lot about with
Yeah, great.
collectibles and trading and all that.
Yep.
But it was a rare one, and so I was like, I'll just eat the gas fee because I know it'll be worth it in the long run. But yeah,
True.
gas fees are tough, especially for people that have smaller budgets and want to get involved.
Yeah.
I look forward to either ETH v2, which should be coming soon, which will I believe change it from a proof of work token to a proof of stake, which will reduce
I have
fees
heard
significantly, which will be similar to Cardano and Polygon.
Yes.
And so I think that ETH will be impossible to catch once that happens. But for
True,
now, there's
good-
kind of
good
this
call.
window of time where other chains are trying to gain some momentum until that happens.
Yep.
Take at least a
Interesting.
little slice of the market share.
True.
Definitely.
That's interesting. And I think Ethereum 2.0 is something we've talked about a little bit. And I'm a believer in it. I've got a bunch of my Ethereum staked.
Crazy.
And so, yeah, I think it should be awesome. So one thing we've talked about and one thing that's come up recently in the press is DAO operations.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a DAO hat on or does it say dads?
It says Vans.
Oh, I thought, okay. I swear you had something on
DAO
it.
hat, yeah. Yeah, so the old that's each good.
I was like, take it from here.
The decentralized autonomous organizations.
Yes.
So this is something that I've only come across in the last.
as
Yeah.
would say.
Yes.
Yep. And DAOs. Yeah. So it seems like it's a really cool new way of raising capital. It seems like special purpose vehicles were kind of what they are the equivalent in the finance world. Special purpose acquisition companies.
Oh, yeah, like SPAC.
Yeah, but different. But the difference is here in the US especially, you have to be an accredited investor if you want to jump in on a new idea, a new company.
Right.
Yep. So do you see any kind of potential for a DAO to be like a new way to raise money for a company? And could it be the future of corporate structures without needing that kind of accreditation?
Yeah.
Could all common people just jump in on a really cool investment opportunity just because it's listed as a DAO and now they have access to it?
Yeah, so we've seen quite a few companies or brands or whatever that are crypto native in the NFT space try their hand at creating a DAO, and some have just gone atrociously. And when you create a token and then everyone gets rid of it, it goes down to nothing, and then everyone starts freaking out on Twitter and saying, "Oh my gosh, it's going down."
Totally. Yeah, if you still hold it, you're screwed.
Company folds. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've seen that happen a couple times. You definitely. One thing that's kind of crazy about this market right now is it's a lot of guys that just were early to something, and this is a super specific niche market, and it's like anyone that's been around long enough is an expert, and people are desperately looking for knowledge that you could only have if you've been like a part of this space every day for the last however many months or years. Totally. And so a lot of these people are going, I can make $1 million by creating this thing, whether it's a DAO or a collection of NFTs or whatever. Yeah. And then they do it, and they don't know how to run a business. Then huge problems happen because these aren't business owners and CEOs. They're some of them are 17-year-olds that live at home and are in school and have homework to do. And I mean, one shout out Shamdu. There's this one 16-year-old that's still in high school and at school, and he created a DAO that I'm actually like invested in. And he's doing super well actually. He's really crushing it. He
Does it
had
have
this
a
really
particular
cool idea.
goal? Oh yeah, sorry, continue.
Yeah, so he had this really cool idea that he would do a 10,000 NFT PFP, like profile pic collection. He piggybacked off another collection called Nouns, or Noun DAO, because he wanted the focus not to be on the art or the collectability or whatever. He wanted to be on the fact that it's a DAO. And so he created a token called Head. And if you own one of the NFTs and you stake it, so you lock it up, you pay a gas fee, lock it up, put it in a different wallet so that it won't, you can't sell it unless you like unstake it, pay another gas fee, whatever. And so if you stake it, you earn Head. And he had a certain amount of tokens, and the way he promoted the project was he said, I'm going to sell these 10,000 NFTs. It'll earn $4 million or whatever. And then I'm going to take 80% of that and buy super high value blue chip NFTs. Yeah, cool. And then put that in the vault, and then all 10,000 Head DAO NFTs or NFT holders will own a fraction of the vault.
Depending on how many you own or whatever is your fraction, right?
The more you own, the higher your fraction is. And then you can stake them, earn this token, and this token is kind of a representation of the vault. And they have a list price for the vault that somebody could buy it out, get all these, all of our NFTs, and then it would be like fractionally split. So cool. So that's a really cool idea.
I like it.
And I've been super excited about that. I can't believe he's 16-year-old. It's crazy. But they've done really well. Like, I think the floor for Head DAO right now is like a quarter of an ETH. To get one of the NFTs. It's only been around for a month. And that one's doing well. He just launched either early this morning or late last night that they are doing a blockchain game, and they're going to be using Head tokens to operate in the game. So now you can burn tokens to get characters, and there's going to be this whole functioning game. And so it's really cool applications for a DAO. And the other big kind of DAO situation I've been involved with was a company called ENS, which stands for Ethereum Name Service. They supply the .eth domains.
Cool.
And I had a couple like NFT influencers that I follow that had these .eth names, and they were talking about it and saying how cool it was. So I checked it out, and the tech behind it is that you can replace that super long, however many digit wallet address. So say like your MetaMask wallet, it'll be like 0xF1896 million digits. And especially when you're running like multiple wallets, say you've got like a hardware wallet that you use with a certain MetaMask wallet, and then you've got two hot wallets for minting just in case you hit a scam and like all that stuff. It's really hard to organize them. And so when that gets replaced with a name like nath.eth, it's really easy to organize them and operate between them. And then also, if somebody's like, hey, bro, thanks for having me on your podcast, I'll send you 0.1 ETH. What's your wallet address? You say just nath.eth, send it over. And
that's great.
It's so much easier.
Cool use case.
And so then when I checked it out, they actually had Bitcoin address, ETH address, Doge address, all these different ones that you can put wallets that you want things to get directed to, and then people can send you all those different cryptos just to nath.eth, and it'll go straight to the respective wallet that you set it up for.
Yeah, it's very similar to buying a domain name in 1999. You know,
exactly.
you're buying some of the original.
Do they
names.
take a little cut or something every time there's a transfer in and out of the wallet?
No.
No.
But you pay. It's kind of like buying a domain now.
Okay, you just pay upfront.
So it's $5 a year. You can get like a year, 5 years, 10 years. If it's 5 letters or more, it's only $5 US a year. The gas fee is really the most expensive part. But if it's 4 letters or 3 letters, significantly more expensive.
Yeah.
Like $100 a year. If it's 3 letters, it's like, I don't know, $500 a year or whatever.
Yeah, right. It's still reasonable compared to some domains. Like some domains go for 50, 100 grand, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I thought the tech was so cool. And
yeah, it's great.
As we move more into Web3 and the extremely digital world, I think .eth domains are going to be really important and valuable in the future. So I bought,
I like it.
Yeah, I bought a my first ENS domain, which was just like my crypto username that I used for a couple exchanges, and then I was like, let's see if it's free, and it was, so I bought it. And then I got BasicBats.eth because I wanted to have it for the like company wallet. And then I managed to get Jory.eth, which felt so baller to get like a 4-digit one, and it's literally just my first name. Oh, it felt so good. So then ENS put out this big message on, I think, November 1st, that they were starting a DAO, and they were going to airdrop free tokens to early adopters. And they took a screenshot on Halloween of all the wallet addresses that had gotten .eth domains up until that point. And so if you didn't have one before that, you don't get free tokens. But if you did, which all 3 of mine were, then I got free tokens.
Oh, sick.
And so everyone on Twitter was freaking out about it. It was like everyone's saying like, damn, ENS really just dropped a stimulus check on the NFT community and like all this stuff. I'm like, people are like, I just paid off my car. Like, and I was like, dude, how much is this worth? So then I checked it out, and they airdropped me 500 tokens, and they were $30 US per token.
Wow.
And so it was like 15 grand US.
Wow.
And then it ended up almost tripling the next day. And they just sent me that because I bought those $5 domains like
what the heck?
a few months before. And so they gave like half the tokens to the community and stuff. And then they have, the more tokens you have, the more like voting power you have on issues and plans and goals and directions of the company and stuff. So it's really interesting, not just for like the value of tokens, but also like voting power, especially with a company that big that is going to have like, I'm sure, major collaborations with some of the biggest companies in the world. Budweiser just bought beer.eth on the secondary market from probably some kid that, some kid bought it,
flipped
like
it
a couple years ago and flipped it for like a couple $100,000. So it's funny seeing all the, I saw somebody on Twitter the other day bought Amazon.eth. And
that's the way to go. Just predict what needs to be bought later and then just buy a bunch of them, flip them for heaps more.
Yeah, he added Bezos and was like, hit me up, Jeff, when you're ready. And, it's
so good.
It's pretty funny. Yeah. But those are the two kind of in the like experiential situations I've had with DAOs. And
they're great.
Yeah, it's been positive so far. But I've seen some bad ones happen, but I haven't been a part of them, which is good.
Yeah.
But DYOR.
Is the key to know the person. Do you call it? Is someone called a founder if they start the DAO? I guess you'd call them a founder of the DAO, right?
Yeah.
Is the key to knowing them and knowing that they're like a reliable source? Because it sounds like both the situations that you have been involved with the DAO. One was with an organization that was really reputable. The other one was someone who you knew or you'd seen work you'd done before, as opposed to just jumping in a hype DAO that just sounds like a cool thing that everyone's in, and then you just get screwed.
100%.
It sounds like there's some method there to your madness.
Yeah. Entirely. That's the majority. It's just a lot of research. Another really good thing is Discord. It's the best tool. You just hop in a Discord and say, "What's up, guys?" or "Good morning," or like, I don't know, whatever. And the response, you can figure out pretty quick what the community's like.
Yeah, gotcha.
Sometimes I'll jump in a Discord and I'll be like, "Hey, like, so what's going on here," or whatever, and then like one of the moderators will reply right away and say like, "Oh, this is what we're about," and then people will be like, "Hey, welcome to the Discord," and super happy and positive. Yeah. And other Discords, just like you won't get a reply, and I'll message a bunch of times, and people are like, "Why is the floor dropping?" And it's like, like negative vibes, you know?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, cool. Do you ever use Telegram? Is that a thing?
Telegram is a thing. I don't use it a ton.
Okay.
I know that Telegram's really, really big with like altcoins and altcoin communities and startups and stuff. But as far as NFTs, it seems like Discord's really, Discord and Twitter are really kind of running the show, which I like because I think that they're really like easy to use and fun.
Yeah, Discord definitely seems like the future of work with Web3. Like, there's a lot of people that are straight up, like heaps of developers that are straight up quitting their jobs and going and joining a Discord and doing, and then, you know, they seem to be working on these DAOs, and then immediately, instead of making 150 grand in Silicon Valley, it's like, oh, they're suddenly crypto millionaires because they were launching this really cool project. And so being a part of some of those early Discords, it's like, it seems so silly if you put it in the context of current work and, you know, working for $12 an hour and, you know, serving people and then, you know, jumping onto Discord and joining this community. It's like, oh, suddenly these people are able to use the skills that they've actually been building to kind of redistribute a lot of that wealth. It's very interesting.
And it's on it's a exponential trajectory where you'd usually only get that if you're like the founder of some massive business, whereas these people can still just work for someone's idea and own such a large portion of it that they can see that as well. So yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, we have something that happened recently, and I think is it the biggest thing that's happened in DAOs? I don't know if it's the biggest, but
seems to got the most I guess attention.
Yeah, it did get the most attention. The constitutionDAO, the one that came together to purchase these.
Maybe this is an example of a failure. I don't know.
Yeah. So the second,
but it was cool.
Yeah. So the second copy of the Constitution out of 13, I think it was.
Yeah, I think 13.
So yeah, original Constitution. It was selling at what was it? Sotheby's. Sotheby's. Yeah. And one of the main issues. Well, I think there were two main issues, right?
Okay, right.
Okay, so we had dilution. So basically, everyone can just continually pour in money.
Yeah, you don't know what part you own.
Yeah, you think that you're buying 2%. If you got in really early, and you invested $1 million, and there was only 10 million in it, you think that you own 10% of the Constitution. Yeah. And then people continuously pour in money until it's at 47 million, and now all of a sudden, you own less than, like, you own 1%, you own 2%. Yeah. So I think that's a huge issue with DAOs at the moment, and I'm sure that can be resolved with some future planning around certain DAOs. Right. I don't know if you know of any that have percentage splits, and you can only invest a certain amount. But we've also I was just gonna say, just like Head DAO, there's only 10,000 NFTs, and so the price of the NFTs might fluctuate, but you can only own. That's true. You can only own a certain percentage of that. So are people excluded after a certain point to putting in more money though? Like, can they continuously pour in more crypto? Only if there's more listed. Yeah. So if there's none for sale, then you can't buy any. Right now, I believe 76% of all Head DAO NFTs are staked, earning Head. Okay. And so that leaves 24% that aren't staked, and there's only like 18% that are listed on OpenSea for purchase. So it's a pretty small. Okay, so that kind of solves your first problem. Yeah. Once that 18% is purchased, then
there's no more to buy unless
No,
you
that's
have a
right.
local
For
list.
sure.
No, right.
Yeah, no, that's cool. And the second issue that I was
Yes.
going to talk about is actually the transparency is really good for people that are jumping in on a project, and they're like, okay, we can see exactly what this project's doing. We can see what they're working on. You know, that's all well and good. But the problem in this case was that they said how much money they were going to raise, and they said how much money they were going to spend on the Constitution.
Yeah.
And in an auction, you want to keep information private.
Yeah.
So there's because if you say you're going to spend 47 million, so what actually happened? And we've actually talked about this guy before. This guy Ken Griffin, who is the CEO of Citadel, he was involved in the GameStop and Robinhood saga. I don't know if you saw any of that. And that was in March 2020. And I think it was March.
Was it
March?
that long
No,
ago?
no, March 2021.
March this year.
Yeah, March 2021.
Yeah.
And
2021.
yeah, and so basically he saw that they were going to spend 47 million on the Constitution.
Yeah.
And he could literally just bid for 47 million and $1, and all of those gas fees, all of those people that had invested in the DAO just got screwed over because now they can't own it. So so I guess there's the problem on
Transparency is good and bad, right?
yeah, transparency is good and bad.
Right.
Yeah. I
It's
don't know.
interesting.
It's
I don't know
good-
if you've
it's
seen
good
any
in
good,
some applications, but not in others.
Yeah, that's right. Probably most applications. And so, they're doing refunds now. But the problem with the refunds is that they're saying
When you
that
include the
because
gas
when they
fees, it's more.
yeah, there's the gas fee, so it's like it's gone. So I don't know. They were saying like the founders of like this DAO probably won't get any of their money back because it'll go towards filling that hole, which were the gas fees. But anyway,
Yeah, for sure.
it's pretty funny.
Yeah, I think
okay.
one.
No,
I
go
was just gonna say we should move on to gaming.
Yes, I think we should too. So gaming in general, would you? So is the biggest game? The biggest game we could find is called Axie Infinity. Is that probably true?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. And how would you describe
sure.
that for someone who's never seen it?
It was made, I believe, in 2016. Super early.
Yeah, true.
And or at least I believe it was in development back then.
Great.
I don't know when it actually launched or how, because I'm not an Axie Infinity player.
Okay.
I know a lot of people that are, but it, to my knowledge, is kind of like Pokemon but with NFTs.
Yeah.
So you like battle other Axies, and you can also breed them.
Yeah.
And they basically can only breed a certain amount of times, like 4 or 5 times, maybe 3 times. And so if you buy and sell Axies on the marketplace.
Yeah.
And so there's kind of a barrier to entry because you need to have like $1,000 to buy an Axie or whatever. And I think you need 3 to play.
Oh, wow.
And so the cheaper ones are the ones that have already breeded a few times so that you can only breed them like one more time or they're done breeding or whatever.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, right.
And then if you get one that hasn't breeded at all, then you can breed it multiple times and then you can sell the offspring, which are like Axies that have never been breeded.
Interesting.
And so they're high value. And
or you could
so
keep them and breed them as well. Can you breed Axies that you've bred?
I don't know. I think so. But
sorry,
so there's
I'm
two,
overthinking this.
There's 2 tokens that they
Cool.
created. So there's AXS, which is their like governance token, their main token, and then there's SLP, which is small love potion, I believe, and that's what you burn to breed.
Gotcha.
And so it's kind of just like an in-game currency.
Yeah.
But both are like listed on CoinMarketCap, and you can on various swaps swap them for ETH or for stablecoin or whatever.
Gotcha.
So they have value, and you earn it in the game. And there's little like goals and objectives that you can do, and you earn SLP.
Yeah.
And so there was a really, really big boom earlier this year with Axie. In the Philippines, there was a lot of people that are living below the poverty line, and they'll do insane amounts of work for like almost no pay.
Yeah.
And so there became this huge boom for Axie. If you get your hands on a tablet, then you could play this game and earn SLP that you could swap for crypto, and you'd be making 10 times more than if you were doing a manual labor job. And so Axie just like took over the Philippines. It was crazy.
True.
It was just like pulling families out of poverty, this like blockchain game. And I saw so many memes on Twitter when Axie was really popping. There was this one that said, the IRS really wants you to tell them every time these things breed. And it was a photo of an Axie. And it's crazy because people were making really, really good money breeding and stuff. And there's a bunch of different strategies on how to have the best ROI playing Axie. But there was a couple people that were early on to the game and were buying Axies for super cheap before they were in demand. And so they owned like 5,000 Axies. And that's obviously worth a ton, but they created guilds where they would allow people to join the guild, play with their Axies, and then share the profits with the guild.
Oh,
so
wow.
then now they're basically renting out these game characters.
Yeah, because they've got so many,
so people can play the game, and even if they're earning a percentage, at least they didn't have to front the $1,200 to get the Axie.
100%.
So there's been some really cool kind of like business moves with that. And AxieCoin, there's this amazing Vancouver NFT artist. He does mostly digital work. He just did his first physical piece yesterday, actually, which is really cool. His name's FuckRender, but the U is a V. Super nice guy. And he was the first person that put me onto Axie. And he just said, buy AXS. Like, don't be dumb, buy AxieCoin. And so I bought some. It was like $3 or $4.
Okay. How long ago is this? Like this year?
June? Yeah. Like just early summer. It's like $3 or $4.
Months ago.
And
Great.
then, but I barely bought any. And then it went up to, like in one day, it went to $12, quadruple.
Wow.
Like 3 to 4x in like a day. And I was like, dude, what am I doing? And so I was like, I'll just wait and see if it comes down. I don't want to buy the top.
Yeah.
And the next day, I think it was $24.
No.
And I was like, you're kidding me. And then it went down to, I think, $14 maybe the next like 2 days. And so I loaded up on like as much as I could.
Yeah.
And yeah, it ended up, it's between $150 and $200 right now.
Oh, sick. True.
So it's performed insanely well. So shout out FuckRender for helping me on that one.
That's great.
That's great. That's so cool.
Yeah, gaming's definitely really, the play to earn mechanics are very new. Yeah. I think one thing that was really important for us when we were first starting to work on this project was that right now you can't really make money from gaming unless you have hundreds of thousands of followers. And not everyone is the personality to gain a following. Yes. And that's not everyone's strong suit, and not everyone's really good at marketing themselves. Some people are just really enjoy video games and are good at it. Yeah. And so play to earn mechanics is kind of revolutionary because people will be able to not have to record themselves or buy all this equipment. They can literally just play a game and earn money. Yeah,
that's cool.
And so I think that that's definitely a goal of ours, was to be able to allow people to make money by playing a game without having to build a following. And so we've seen a couple examples of that over the summer. There was a game called Snook, I believe, that was on the Polygon network. And it was kind of like, it was, I think it's just snook.io. And you are basically a snake and you like eat other snakes. And you take their crypto.
Yeah, true.
And so you actually put in like Polygon, and then you can take their characteristics that they earn, and they have value and stuff, which you can sell. You can sell like certain characteristics, like a crown or whatever. And so it's a way to earn money by playing the game. And so we've seen a couple ones like that, but whenever one comes out, a bunch copy it. And usually the first couple do the best, but I mean, it's still new tech, and so I think as a community, we're trying to figure out the best ways to apply it. Yeah, that's cool. But did you guys hear about Wolf Game that happened just a couple weeks ago?
No.
Okay, so this game came out called wolf.game is the website. Game, and there's a big NFT collector slash influencer slash entrepreneur named Beanie Maxi on Twitter, and he posted that this Wolf Game stealth launched, so they didn't do like a big marketing campaign pre-launch. They just launched, and then they had 10,000 animals that you could mint. 90% of them were sheep, 10% were wolves, and you could mint them, and it was like relatively cheap. It was a minting price. I think it was like 0.06 or 7 or 8 or something like that. Yeah. And he posted and said you can mint these and you'll be able to
When you
play
say
this
mint,
game.
what do you mean? What do you mean by mint? Just in layman terms.
Oh, right.
Sorry.
That's definitely like basics of NFTs. Minting is buying something like for the first time.
Nice.
And then everything after that will be secondary sale.
Awesome.
So
Sorry, keep going.
you launch a project, you buy it off their website, that's minting.
Yeah, Matt.
And so it sold out like in minutes. I went to the website, it was sold out like
true.
minutes after he tweeted that. And then the game kind of went crazy. Within a day, the sheep were like double or triple in value, and the wolves were like 10x. And people were playing this game, and basically like wolves were stealing sheep. But you can stake your sheep and earn wool tokens.
Yeah.
And the wool tokens like had value. They were like 16 cents per token, but you were earning so much.
Yeah.
And so then Beanie tweeted again and said, like basically, this is wild. Sheep you can buy on OpenSea on secondary for $1,200, but they earn $1,200 a day in wool.
No way.
And then they just took off. I was on my way to work. This is my I think it was my last shift at my like regular job.
Yeah.
And I saw him tweet that, and I was like, "You're kidding me! I need to buy this, but I'm really late for work." And I went to work, and I checked halfway through my shift, and the floor went from 0.16 to 2.8 ETH within a few hours. And
That's crazy.
oh, my heart was broken, shattered.
Also,
And,
you missed buying at the start. You missed buying before
Yeah.
work.
Yeah. And plus, you could buy, like, they ended up going up to like a 4 ETH floor
Wow.
for sheep. And
Crazy.
people were earning like hundreds of thousands of dollars in wool tokens.
Yeah.
And so they've been developing the games. They've had a few hiccups and stuff, and they had to like, there was an exploit on a contract that people were able to redeem more wool than they were supposed to. And so then they had to like migrate over the assets to a new contract. But they were kind of the first, to my knowledge, to do a game with that framework.
Yeah.
So really, really innovative and all on-chain, which is really cool and really hard to pull off. And so that's really, we've all been talking in the industry about how NFTs and gaming are going to be the next gold mine. But
True.
it's cool to see like now all eyes are on gaming. And so I'm excited for our launch.
Yeah, and deep in the mine is BasicBats, right?
Yes,
You're
it
there.
is.
Yes.
So we should probably talk about that. Yeah, we should talk about it. Okay,
talk about your actual
so
project.
the first question, just simplistically, style and the name of it, where did that sort of come from? Or nowhere? I don't know. Maybe you don't.
Yeah, we
Like BasicBats.
in the
like,
summer.
Who thought
Yeah.
of that?
Well, I thought of the name.
There you go.
But yeah, I was visiting my dad, and because we invest in crypto like side by side and stuff. We always give each
That's
other
like a family thing.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, just my dad and I. But
Yeah, okay, right.
we give each other like coin picks, and then I got him into NFTs, and he's done really well with the stuff that I've got him into. So we talk on the phone all the time, like about new collections and whatever. And so anyway, I was talking to him, and I was like, man, this I feel like the problems I'm seeing with these collections and these companies are things that I'm good at, like like running a business, like entrepreneurship, hiring the right people, budgeting, accounting, just like all the main business stuff, and having a love for the technology and being like crypto native, being an investor for a while and being knowledgeable and researching and being on Twitter all day and Discord, and I'm like, I feel like I have the tools to do something really well. So then I started thinking like, where did I see like a hole in the market? And gaming was definitely it. But specifically, and this was like in the spring, summer, our times are like April, May, June. And I was thinking specifically, what's a good way to onboard people that aren't into crypto and NFTs? Because I feel like there's a lot of barrier to entry as far as just like understanding the tech and how not to mess up. Yeah. I hear so many people that fall for like Nigerian Prince email scams equivalent in NFTs.
I get so much stuff on like Instagram, like all of those like pre-written messages with, buy my. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, like, or even just in a collection's Discord, say the head DAO Discord, somebody will message like, as they're first minting, they'll message a link to like head DAO, but it'll be like one letter changed. It's a website, and then it'll be a copy of the website. Except when you try to mint, you just send ETH to their wallet. You're not even buying anything. So you have to triple check the URL.
Yeah.
But something like that is like, dude, that's like, you fell for that? Like, it's so, I feel like once you're in the space and you understand the tech, you kind of, things like that become like second nature. But if you're new to the space, that's easy to fall for. And so I was kind of thinking about how all of us in this space, we want to see the space innovate, grow, and so we want to onboard. We want NFTs to be mainstream. We want crypto to be mainstream. Like we're not gatekeepers. We're happy about the tech and we want to see it grow. Plus, we make a ton of money if it grows because we're all so early. So a mobile game was kind of the first thing that came to me, was something that's super accessible, something that normies would eat up. Everyone plays mobile games.
Did you say normies?
Yeah, sorry.
Is that me? Am I a normie? I think I'm a normie. No, I think I am.
I meant I actually meant muggles.
So good.
So my dad and I were just talking about kind of what would be a good type of game, and we were talking about style games, and we went over a bunch, and we were thinking about a side-scroller game, and my dad doesn't really play video games, so he wasn't much help, but I like side-scroller games, but my wife actually, she said that you should do like an upright game because you don't need two hands. It's just even more accessible. If you're about accessibility, you should do it like that. And then I met an amazing game dev, and he was like, "Oh, dude, that's no problem. Let's do it." So then we started working on like an infinite runner game, but I wanted it to be a bit more like difficult and complex and have some more mechanics for the character. And so I wanted something to fly. And so I was thinking about like types of birds or whatever. And I was like, man, everything's been done. I don't want to do like pelicans or something. Like it's just like, it was hard to find something that would be unique, but also cool. And it was actually my dad that said like, we should do bats. And I was like, oh, like maybe I will. And then I thought of BasicBats, and I was like,
so good.
Dude, bats are cool. I like 100%. Batman. And so then I rolled with it. And then actually it's funny because you mentioned music at the beginning. There was this hip hop R&B producer that I was friends with that posted some digital art on Instagram. And I was like, dude, is this your like art? And he's like, yeah, I'm going to start like posting my art more. And I was like, I didn't know you did art. He's like, dude, that's like, other than music, it's like my biggest passion. I like love drawing and all this stuff on like the iPad on Procreate. And I was like, dude, I need an artist. I like need to make a collection of NFTs. And
so cool.
He was like, dude, hell yeah, he's on board. So then I connected with him, and then the team kind of started coming together.
Wow.
And then what we've seen a ton in NFTs over the summer is that Bored Ape Yacht Club and CryptoPunks and stuff, they basically used random generative AI to take a selection of traits and randomize them. So you can take 200 traits and create 10,000 NFTs like that. Which is amazing, especially when done well. And we've seen a lot of projects do it really well, but what happened was every day 10 new projects would come out with some art from Fiverr and some generative AI and big promises. We're creating this, doing that, and then anonymous creators, people would buy it, the collection would sell out, they'd take their $1 million and then they'd disappear and create another one. And so these were just being printed, and because NFTs were going so crazy in the summer, everyone was just making money. And then the fall came, and ETH ripped, and a couple things happened, and NFTs slowed down, and all of those projects went to nothing. And so people lost a lot of money, which was really like hard for the NFT community. It took the wind out of a lot of sales. And so I thought that it'd be cool to do everything by hand and not use any generative AI. So we created a couple hundred traits and like fur types and body types and all that, and then we by hand curated all 6,000 bats.
6,000.
Yeah, 6,000.
True.
So you didn't just pick this hairstyle, this, and then you just randomly smash them together, and then you gave them a certain rarity and some piece of code, jammed them all together. You actually personally went through each one and made sure that they were what you wanted.
We made everyone from scratch. We didn't just edit each one. We select a background and then select the fur type of the bat and then select the eyes, select the eye color, choose which style of mouth, and then bounce it over as a new file to where we have outfits, and then we're putting on some clothes, like a watch, whatever, trying to color coordinate and make it look clean. So that whether you get...
Sorry, so you made a bunch of attributes that you said something like 200 attributes or something, and then you then hand pick what this character is going to look like from your little presets, all of these little presets, and then you do the next one, then the next one. Yeah, gotcha. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So obviously it took months. Just curating the bats.
And who's doing that? You, this designer, other people, just the two of you? What's it look like?
Yeah, just a couple of us. We've my wife and his girlfriend. Sometimes when we're getting a carpal tunnel, we'd hand it off and then they make some bats. Nice. And so they made a bunch of them too. And
so cool.
Yeah, so I guess it was a bit of a family project.
So cool. Yeah, it sounds like it.
But yeah, it's taken a long time, but we've finally gotten to the end and looking through them all. We're so happy that we did it this way.
When did you start? How long has it taken to now?
June, or beginning of June.
I mean, that's
end
pretty
of
fast.
May, beginning of June.
I mean, that's impressive. You've done really well.
Oh, it's been a lot of hours.
When are you going to launch?
We are planning to do the pre-sale December 15th and then the public sale on December 18th.
And how do you get involved in the pre-sale? Is that an OpenSea thing? Is that your own website?
So we're going to be doing the minting on our own website. It's just BasicBats.io.
Yep.
We have a temporary landing page right now that has our Discord and Twitter and a bit more information about the project. But in our Discord server, we explain in the frequently asked questions how to get on the reserve list. You basically just DM the BasicBats Twitter account at BasicBats, your wallet address and how many bats you want, capped at 10, and then we'll reserve that for your wallet address.
Wow.
Speaking of gas fees, costs tens of thousands of dollars to reserve wallet addresses, hard-coded into the smart contract. Yeah. But
right.
I think for especially friends and family and people that want to support us early on, that's obviously
it's an investment.
A small price. Yeah, a small price to pay, and that way we can create a 72-hour window where people that have bats reserved can wait till gas is optimal, and then they're paying less gas fees, and
so
because
off-peak.
the volume, and the volume will be limited to the 500 wallet, so the gas fees will stay low regardless. We did some testing with the smart contract, and the fees were $38, $39 when we were doing test mints, which is I haven't paid a gas fee that low since July.
Seems good.
So we're really excited. I have a really brilliant smart contract coder that lives across the world and is the nicest guy, and we talk about every day.
True. Okay, so there's you. There's a designer. There's a smart contract. Smart contract developer. There's also. Did you mention the gaming developer at the start there?
Yeah. I'll tell you the team.
Yeah. Tell us the team.
I'm the founder and just the boss, and then I've got King, who's the executive designer. He hand drew all the traits and everything, and then there's Hayden, and he's our game dev. And then we've got Alessandro, who's I call him the Discord wizard. He's the one that built my server, and he kind of runs it. And especially as we grow, he's going to be quick to reply to everyone's questions and all that.
Awesome.
And then I've got Sam, who kind of helps me run the business and do all the media and content and design, branding, all that. And then we've got Ian, who's a front-end web developer out of Phoenix. He's helping us
Ian.
put together the website.
We know Ian.
Yeah, Ian's good stuff. And I think, am I missing anyone? I really hope not. Oh, our smart contract coder.
The smart contract.
Yeah, he's out of Europe, but he's got his own project, so he's the only member of our team that's not posting his face everywhere, just because he's focused on promoting his own thing right now. But he's been really, really great to work with and doing really good work for us.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's incredible. It's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's impressive. I mean, so you said it's on the Ethereum chain, right?
It is.
Do you have any idea, just for anyone who might be interested, what language the game is being developed in? Like what coding language? Do you know or no?
I should ask Hayden.
It's a technical question. That's okay.
Yeah, I'd have to ask Hayden 'cause I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not doing the coding, so I'm not
sure.
That's a
I mean,
good
you've done a
question.
great job of bringing together, like, gathering the right people to sort of spearhead
Right.
the project that you want to do. I think it's a very impressive trait that a lot of people don't have. And it's something that it's something that I think is very impressive.
And it is the essentials of business. Like that is
Correct.
what a business is, and it's really cool that we can see you're literally creating a business inside the crypto space, and like this is the optimizing of certain resources. This is getting this skill,
Right.
this skill, this skill, adding that much value, and then taking a revenue which is more than that, and that's basically what it's about. So so it's really cool.
Yeah, it's interesting because you seem to have always had an interest in entrepreneurial stuff, right? You've mentioned it a couple of times here, and so I think it's really powerful, the fact that you can, like, let's say for example the smart contract guy and the designer guy and the game developer, all of those guys have inherent abilities, and a lot of people look to them as, like, I don't know, technical geniuses or whatever. But look, the fact is, if you can't bring them together and create something that has some value that consumers can use, then everything they do is, I don't know, like, you can take what they have and just 10x the value that they can create into the world. And so I think it's awesome. I think what you're doing is so cool. So
we're really excited.
Yeah, it's awesome. So the best way for people to get involved is by the sounds of it, getting in the Discord. So jump onto the landing page.
BasicBats.io.
BasicBats.io.
Right?
Jump into the Discord, download it onto your computer or whatever you need. Jump in there, and you'll see everything that's going on. Get on the pre-sale list, and maximum of 10. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And so
then, follow the Twitter. That's the other.
And
big
follow
one.
the Twitter. There you go.
And you put in your address into you like in the frequently asked questions. You put in your address, and then that's how you reserve your NFT.
Right.
Essentially,
It explains it in the frequently asked questions.
There you
go. Yeah.
You just DM the BasicBats Twitter account, your wallet address, and how many bats you want. We're gonna cap it at 500 wallets, so it's first come first serve.
Cool.
It might be full by the time you see it, but hopefully not.
True. And then maybe just as we finish here, just a couple of quick metaverse questions, right? So we've seen recently that Facebook have changed their name to Meta, right? Here we go.
Yeah.
He's already laughing.
And so my question is, do we really think that Facebook or Meta are going to really be a valuable resource or contributor to the metaverse? Or do we think, I had a really good analogy the other day, do we think they're creating something more like a Disneyland where it's kind of fun place to be, but it's not like a profitable place for other people to build upon? And someone said that's the distinguishing difference between something that just has a VR headset where you can go in and play with your friends, or something that's actually an interoperable metaverse. Do you have any thoughts around that stuff?
Yeah, I think that's a good analogy. The main thing about crypto and crypto native projects and NFTs is that decentralization is king, and you want the power to be in the hands of the holders and the investors. And it's the same with, like, the floor price is controlled by the people that hold the assets. It's not based on me. It's not based on the creator of the project. And crypto's built on that. It's getting away from the centralization of banks and so much of our society. And so Facebook coming in and taking this really sick thing and basically bringing a centralized version with insane budget and whatever, and to do whatever they want to do. I think a lot of people in the space obviously don't like that and aren't really interested or excited for it. I think the fact that everyone's talking about the metaverse and NFTs is sick, and we're all about that. But I think we're a lot more interested in things like Sandbox or Decentraland, where these are crypto native, blockchain built metaverses where you can make money. Like I know a few people that bought plots of land for like $40 and then in the Sandbox metaverse or Decentraland. Selling them for insane amounts of money.
So I read a news article the other day, and there's a guy who sold a plot of land in Decentraland, exactly what you're saying, and he sold it for $2.4 million.
Yeah, I saw that.
I don't know whether he bought it for 40, But that's pretty crazy, hey? And that's an example of what the metaverse is, right?
Totally.
It's a profitable, valuable thing for everybody who's involved.
Yeah, and the cool thing is that a lot of NFT collections and teams and projects, like Bored Ape Yacht Club or HeadDAO or whatever, they buy plots of land, and then you can build things for your brand on that land, and the only people that can access that land are people that hold your NFT.
Amazing.
And so then you're creating digital communities and games and stuff built in the metaverse that you actually own. Yeah. And there's never-ending applications and stuff. But the Facebook thing, I think, is just anybody that's actually crypto native or in NFTs is just not going to be super interested.
Gotcha. I guess the benefit to you then of Facebook and Meta stuff is this: it's just giving people. I guess it's to the normies, as you said. It's just bringing. I guess it's just bringing people's attention to the space, right? And then once they dive into it, they go, "Oh, wait, there's heaps more. There's much more deeper applications than what Meta's doing." But at least it's bringing people to the table. So yeah, that's cool.
Sure.
This question is. So I was thinking. Okay, so let's say, for example, like. Let's say for someone who doesn't want to dive in and be a part of all of these different projects, but they think the NFT space is a valuable place to be and that there's a lot of future value there, is one way to sort of still have exposure to it? I think the answer is yes, but I'll ask it anyway. Is one way to have exposure to it to just purchase some underlying tokens that are used as utility tokens for the NFT projects, and then you kind of mitigate the project risk. Like, you're not, as you're saying, you know how a bunch of people buy all of these PFP collectibles and then all of a sudden it's nothing, it goes down to $0 and you lose all your money. Yep. If you had have just bought Ethereum or Solana or Cardano or something with that money, you're not going to see the 100x that you might have got on some other project that went really well. But that might be a less risky way to still have exposure to it. Any thoughts around
100%.
Crypto?
I completely agree.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to, and that's how I got into it. I got into crypto. I was just buying Ethereum and Sandbox token and a lot of these cool gaming projects. Token? So the Sandbox Metaverse, they've got a governance token that you can buy land with the token. You can operate in game with it in the Metaverse. And so that one's done super well. I was buying it at
that one's gone crazy
14.
lately, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, buying it at like 14 cents in February, and now it's I think like $7, so doing super well. But yeah, that's a great way that if you don't feel like you have the tools to dive into buying NFTs right away, then mitigating risk is really great. Just Ethereum, I think, is the easiest one.
Ethereum,
the more Ethereum you own, the better. And then once you feel like you're at a place where you understand NFTs, then you've got the liquidity to jump in.
True.
Cool. And if we're close to wrapping up, I would say.
I'd say so.
What kind of would your personal portfolio look in terms of NFTs and crypto? Do you have a certain allocation that you allocate towards NFTs and towards crypto? And how? What kind of? How do you allocate that?
Yeah, I'm currently way overexposed to NFTs in my portfolio. But I love it. And before I was 100% crypto, and then I think my goal was to be kind of like 50-50.
Yeah.
But the thing is, when you're making way more money flipping NFTs than holding on to coins, I think it gets a little too exciting, and I couldn't help myself. I just started converting all my coins to Ethereum and buying NFTs, which has paid off. I've had a lot of stuff go to zero, and I've had a lot of stuff 100x, and the latter pays for the former.
Totally.
And then some. And so as long as you're making enough good calls, especially in NFTs, it far outweighs the bad ones.
Yeah.
But I am going to be starting to sell some of my precious NFTs that I hate selling, and buying some more crypto. But
nice.
Yeah, I'd say.
No, good answer.
If I was talking to somebody new, I would say buy Bitcoin and Ethereum as like your main holdings, and then allocate a percentage to some altcoins. I try to stick to the top like 300 coins. They're really, really small micro cap coins. They obviously have a lot of potential, but a lot of them rug or go to zero or don't perform well. And some of my best performers have been like a top 100 coin that's just gone up 10x in market cap. And I think that's a good place to start.
That's good. I like it. Fair enough. All right. Before we finish, is there any collectibles projects that you think you should be watching out for in the next couple of months? Anything that comes to mind other than obviously BasicBats dropping soon?
Yeah. So BasicBats is the number one. Obviously, it's going to be minting, so it's the cheapest. It's going to be 0.07 ETH per bat. Yep. And a lot of the good collections out right now are like half an ETH floor, or 0.3, or 1.5, or 5. And so minting is the best way to get in if you have a limited amount of money to allocate.
Gotcha.
But as far as solid projects that I'm invested in that are already out, I'd say probably my favorite would be Ape Gang.
Okay, cool.
And then Crypto Baby Punks is also an amazing derivative project. And then Wicked Craniums is also great. Gutter Cat Gang is also sick.
Sick. That's great.
What else do I like? I have a lot. I'm just Jory Davies on OpenSea. You can check out my wallet.
Yeah, cool.
I think you've got an Instagram too, right? Jory.eth is like where you're posting
I post some of the stuff I buy,
your purchases and stuff. Yeah. And then you update it when you sell them, right? Yeah, that's cool.
True. Yeah, I just got I'm a fur from Sartoshi, which is really dope. He's the
That's sick. Nice. All right. Anything else?
Oh, well, I just think the sillier the name, the better the crypto, obviously.
No, I think that's definitely how it works. That's definitely how it works.
For sure.
Any other thoughts, Jory? Anything? How do people find you personally? I guess it would be interesting to know.
I think my handle everywhere is just Jory Davies or Jory.eth. But
on Instagram, Twitter, they're probably the main ones.
Yeah, just Jory Davies.
Yeah, great.
Yep.
Man.
Cool.
Done.
Yeah, man. Dude,
go check out BasicBats.
And BasicBats, get on it. It's a mobile app.
Yes,
That's so cool. That's actually so sick. When can someone? When do you think?
There's something really important I didn't tell you.
Okay, go.
More like, all this info is on the Discord and on the website, basicbats.io and stuff. But we're basically creating so there's the 6,000 NFTs, and then we're 3D rendering every single one into a playable game character. So the NFT that you own will be actually the character in the game that you get to play. And then we're creating a competitive community leaderboard, and all of your scores will save if you're playing with a bat that you own. And we're going to be splitting $1,000 in ETH every single week among the top 5 players on the leaderboard. And so it'll be a way for people to earn money just by being good at a game instead of needing a following incentive. And all that. Yeah.
And can you only play if you have one of the NFTs, or can you play without the NFT?
Yeah, we're going to have kind of 2 versions of the game, 2 buttons. It'll be play for fun and then play to earn. And so play for fun, it'll just be a stock bat. Your personal score will save, but no leaderboard and no money and prizes and stuff. And then if you do play to earn, it'll just ask for your code that we'll have generated on our website. That'll be your code that you get to match your bat, and then the game will launch with your character.
Right, it was smart leaving this to the end because it's like watch video till end for the exclusive content. You're a genius. You're a marketing genius. And so when do you think the game would be on my phone so that I could play it? Any thoughts?
Yeah, so we're nearing beta.
Okay.
The Apple developer program is pretty painful.
Yes.
And so getting it onto app stores is partially up to them.
Yeah.
But ideally by the end of January. And,
okay, great.
And then we're going to be working hard 3D rendering all the characters and getting it on there. But the 500 pre-sale spots, all the people with those wallets hard-coded in the smart contract are going to get first access to the beta of the game as well.
Nice. Sick. I love it. First quarter of next year, January, hopefully, we'll be on there playing it. I'll have to get a pre-sale so I can play before anyone else.
Yep.
And we'll have to do that. Oh, thank you so much.
Thanks for coming.
What time is it there
having
right
me.
now? What time is it? Is it late?
It's 1:45 in the afternoon.
Okay, that's perfect. Well, thank you so much for jumping on.
Thanks,
I'm
guys.
sorry that it's gone a bit over time. And to be honest,
it's
we've
all
probably covered half the content that we wrote down.
Literally.
But it's been great. And I'm sure we can do it again. And so have a great day. And
you too.
so, yeah, thanks.
We'll talk to you in a couple of months when you're a multi-millionaire. So,
okay, deal. Sounds good. Bye, guys.
Thanks.